Monday.
Thanks for watching News Channel 8, recognized by the Associated Press as Oregon's best newscast. News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
The reverse commute as the Thanksgiving holiday ends.
We've got all hands on deck for this one. It's a very busy day.
Planes, trains, automobiles, and frustration.
If I had to do it over again, I'd probably leave about 7 in the morning.
The rough road the president will face at a trade conference in Seattle. Proposals to reduce tariffs have already sparked protest. And the new search for answers about the King assassination. Is this man the last surviving participant in a conspiracy plot?
And I've always felt that somehow the truth would be known, and I'd hope that I would live to see it.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News, reported by John Siegenthaler.
Good evening, everyone. For millions of Americans, this is the most difficult part of the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, the long trip home. It was slow going for some travelers where the weather refused to cooperate. Plus, the congestion on the highways and airports and train stations meant headaches for weary travelers. NBC's Joe Johns reports.
This morning, incoming planes had to be turned around at San Diego's airport due to heavy fog.
We spent the night sleeping on the floor with a pillow and a blanket.
At Los Angeles International Airport, people were waiting in traffic jams to stand in line to take crowded flights home.
If it wasn't delayed, I'd be surprised.
In the east, good flying weather, crowded skies, and crowded terminals.
It was kind of a bad sign when I got to the terminal and the line was all the way outside of the terminal.
Normally about 70% of the seats are filled. Today at least 90% will be filled.
Tight quarters too on the rails today. Amtrak adding 61 trains to its schedule. But the majority of travelers hit the roads, some wishing they hadn't.
This would be my first year driving, and I think I'm going to stick to airlines for now on because this is ridiculous.
Traffic backed up as far as the eye could see on the Delaware end of the New Jersey Turnpike.
There was a 10-mile wait to pay the toll down there, so we were happy we were going north instead of south.
It's not all end of the holiday weekend traffic. In some areas, a crush of shoppers combined with the homeward-bound motorists to make a bad situation even worse.
It puts both shoppers and travelers together, and both those groups are in a hurry, and that's a recipe for congestion.
In Little Rock, Arkansas, tempers flared, and a man ended up in handcuffs after police broke up what they thought could be a developing case of road rage.
Everyone's anxious to get to where they're going, and, tempers flare when you're in a hurry.
Normally, Thanksgiving is the busiest travel period of the year, and this year seems to be no exception. Joe Johns, NBC News, Washington.
Now to Seattle, where representatives from 135 countries are about to begin a new round of talks on world trade. The negotiations are expected to take years to complete, but there is more at stake here than just an attempt to lower the barriers to world trade. We have two reports, beginning with NBC's John Palmer.
Trade representatives from around the world began arriving in Seattle today for what is being described as one of the most important rounds of trade negotiations ever held. The battle over lowering global tariffs will be the main event.
This will be a historic and a new round, the first round for a new century, first round to see completion in 3 years.
The fight over lowering trade barriers will have to share attention with other potentially divisive issues like safety, clean air, and labor conditions. Nevertheless, U.S. officials are optimistic.
At the end, everyone knows that failure is not an option. So it will come together.
President Clinton, who spent the holiday weekend relaxing in the Maryland mountains, will fly to Seattle on Tuesday to help launch the negotiations, tentatively named the Millennium Round. At the top of Mr. Clinton's agenda, lowering global tariffs on agriculture. But Washington expects opposition from Europe and Japan, anxious to protect their farmers. Another goal, eliminating tariffs on other products like chemicals, forest products, and scientific equipment. A big White House goal, extending the moratorium on taxing electronic commerce. Finally, expanding World Trade Organization membership to other countries, including China.
We are the envy in job creation and in productivity of the world right now. And our challenge in the next century is to keep that.
The Clinton administration not only has to battle 134 other countries on these controversial trade issues, it has domestic critics to contend with as well. And in Seattle, the president is expecting a dramatic new level of citizen involvement in international diplomacy in the form of massive demonstrations. John Palmer, NBC News at the White House.
This is George Lewis in Seattle, where those demonstrations were already underway this afternoon. Don't tell these people that expanded world trade is good for the global economy. They don't buy that idea. They see the World Trade Organization as a tool of what they call unchecked international corporate greed. The World Trade Organization meeting has spawned all sorts of protests, from labor unions, from human rights activists, from environmentalists. And the protests are not just limited to the city of Seattle. In Geneva last week, about 3,000 Swiss farmers took to the streets because they're worried about the WTO working to eliminate European farm subsidies. A similar demonstration in Brussels, Belgium. And in Paris, 30 political parties and trade unions rallied against exporting jobs to underdeveloped countries. John Folk understands that. He's one of the thousands of labor union people in Seattle this week. Last year, he was among 1,000 steelworkers who lost their jobs in Salina, Ohio, when the Huffy bicycle plant shut down and moved all the jobs overseas.
We're feeling anger, fear, sadness, and many other emotions.
Huffy blamed an unprecedented decline in Chinese bicycle pricing over the last 6 months as the reason it's closing its American plants. It can't compete using American workers.
Leaving us behind and going down to exploit workers down in another country, to exploit their environment and do things like that, that's no way to make profits.
The steel workers are here to demonstrate with other unions, worried that cheap overseas labor will take away even more American jobs.
To let that American dream die because of corporate greed is not the right thing to do.
While the demonstrators have vowed that this will be a week of non-violent protests, the Seattle police have already made some arrests. Some of the more militant protest groups have vowed they'll try to shut down the World Trade Organization summit. George Lewis, NBC News, Seattle.
When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, the next phase of the Egypt Air investigation, recovering more wreckage. And later, a rare look inside a space shuttle undergoing renovation.
This is the face of erectile dysfunction. So is this. And this. Fact is, 1 in 3 men have some form of ED, a medical condition also called impotence that affects men of every age, race, and background. What else do all these men have in common? They all faced up to their problem and got help. If you're experiencing ED, there's no need to hide your face. Just talk to your doctor. It's the best way to get educated about ED and how to treat it.
I'm the Black & Decker floor buster. I eat broken glass for breakfast. I eat cat litter for lunch. Let's just say I have an insatiable appetite. I'm the floor buster. I'm built by Black & Decker.
You know how much Grandma wanted to be here for your first Christmas? You see, Grandma lives way down here, and you live way up here. Brian, your cousin, he's a little bit older than you. He lives here in Chicago, and your Aunt Lisa lives here in Baltimore. Uncle Ernie, way out in Hawaii. Oh, but don't you worry. We'll always be together for Christmas.
Being together is the best part of the holidays, and Cheerios is happy to be part of the family.
You just ate Dallas.
It was 4 weeks ago today that Egypt Air Flight 990 crashed off the coast of Massachusetts, killing all 217 people aboard. No final conclusions have been reached concerning the cause, but attention is still focused on the human factor. NBC's Rick Davis has our report.
Tonight, a few U.S. investigators into the crash of Egypt Air Flight 990 remain at this Cairo hotel. According to Egyptian sources, they have been looking closely at the health, training, and flight records of Gamil al-Batouti. Ever since the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder were recovered, the finger of suspicion has pointed toward Batouti. On the tape, the relief co-pilot asked to take over the controls and then repeats a short prayer in Arabic. I put my trust in God. over and over again. He is apparently alone in the cockpit. The plane begins to plunge toward the ocean. The pilot returns, struggles to pull the plane back up. Someone turns off the engines. Flight 990 goes into a final dive, coming apart as it falls. But is the theory of pilot suicide plausible? Former National Transportation Safety Board Chairman James Burnett.
I don't think that's conclusive because each one of the elements that support that theory can be explained away in some way, but it's hard to explain all of that away in one fell swoop.
In Egypt today and every day, newspaper stories defend co-pilot Gamil al-Batouti, calling speculation about suicide and mass murder a rush to judgment. Today, his family had this message for investigators.
You're like a judge, and a judge has to come up with the truth. Stay neutral. Don't side with me. Don't side with anybody else. Just give us the truth.
The investigators believe the truth will become clearer once more pieces of the wreckage are recovered. The debris field is about 60 miles south of Nantucket Island. The water there is 250 feet deep. To aid the recovery effort, the high seas oil rigger Smith Pioneer is being brought in. It can operate in deep, rough water as a base for underwater cameras and recovery gear. This new salvage effort could begin shortly after the Smith Pioneer arrives. That could happen within a week. Rick Davis, NBC News.
In Compton, California, overnight, 6 people were killed when a taxi collided with a commuter train. The driver went around a lowered railroad gate, apparently thinking he had time to get across the tracks. The force of the crash split the taxi, the back half catching fire. The conductor was the only person aboard the train and was not hurt. A demand tonight from the Cuban government that a young refugee rescued at sea by fishermen on Thanksgiving Day be returned to Cuba. The father of 5-year-old Elian Gonzalez claims the boy was kidnapped by his mother, who perished at sea. Relatives in Florida plan to fight any attempt to send the boy back. U.S. immigration officials had no immediate response to Cuba's demand. The surviving panda of the first pair to arrive in this country was put to sleep this morning. Xing Xing came to the National Zoo in Washington in 1972, a gift from China to commemorate President Nixon's historic visit to that nation. Xing Xing had been suffering from a kidney failure brought on by old age. When NBC Nightly News continues, the civil court case involving the murder of Martin Luther King.
I hate this cold, dry weather. Makes my scalp itch worse.
That's scalp stress itch.
When I blow dry, my scalp itch gets intense.
That's scalp stress itch.
Days like this, what an itch.
That's scalp stress itch. And this is what stops it. Scalpicin. Clean, unscented, medicated to stop scalp stress itch.
Fast.
Scalpicin stops scalp stress itch.
The other day, I'm driving down Broadway when that pastrami on rye catches up with me. Heartburn, big time. My passenger says, here, take a Zantac 75. I say, what are you, a doctor? And he says, yeah.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
A real gentleman, that doctor.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
We take our sight for granted in America, but for many people, it's a luxury. Every year, LensCrafters runs gift of sight missions to bring sight to needy people around the world.
We change lives with these glasses.
You drop them off at LensCrafters and we'll get them to people who need them.
And just the look on their face, like, wow. Every single pair matters. And the more we collect, the more people we can help.
Please bring us your used glasses today.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store.
Taking care of business.
Or you can shop our catalog.
Taking care of business.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Office Depot. Taking care of business.
This week, questions of the decade.
I say...
My answer would have to be...
That's totally wrong.
What did she say?
What were they thinking?
What did they say? This week on Today.
In focus this evening, the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King. It happened in Memphis in April of 1968. In June of that year, after a global manhunt, the prime suspect, a convicted thief named James Earl Ray, was arrested in London. The authorities believe he committed robberies to fund his escape. But the King family believes a conspiracy is behind the murder. They filed a wrongful death claim against a man they believe was involved. Testimony resumes tomorrow. NBC's Frederica Whitfield is following the case.
The King family is hoping that the trial will expose a conspiracy in the assassination for which James Earl Ray received a 99-year prison sentence. Dr. King's widow, Coretta Scott King, was the first to take the stand last Monday.
I've always felt that somehow the truth would be known, and I'd hope that I would live to see it.
Investigators have said for years the truth is that Ray, a petty criminal, shot King from a nearby boarding house as the civil rights leader stood on a hotel balcony. Ray died last year of liver disease during his 8th attempt at a trial to overturn his original plea bargain. He had confessed to the murder back in 1969, but 2 days later began the denials, which continued until his dying day.
I didn't kill Dr. King. I wasn't involved in any type of collusive acts to kill him.
A year before he died, Ray met with King family members.
I had nothing to do with, shooting your father.
Helped convince them King's murder was part of a widespread conspiracy and that he, Ray, was the fall guy.
I believe you, and my family believes you, and we are going to do everything in our power to try and make sure that justice will prevail.
Now, the family is suing this man, 73-year-old former Memphis businessman Lloyd Jowers, who they believe is the only person still alive who knows the truth about the King assassination. Over the years, Jowers has told various stories about a murder plot, including a claim that he was given money to arrange it. He's even quoted as saying that the murder weapon was given to him after King was shot. There are even questions about the gun, which is supposed to be the murder weapon, recovered hours after the shooting near the crime scene, covered with Ray's fingerprints. In 1997, 12 of the 18 bullets test fired like this from the evidence rifle did not match the so-called death slug, according to Memphis criminal court judge Joe Brown, who testified as an expert witness, even though he has no formal training in ballistics.
The bullets from the 4 unfired cartridge cases are metallurgically identical when the lead cores are analyzed, whereas the bullet removed from the body of Dr. King is not identical.
Brown, who presided over Ray's hearing 2 years ago, testified the evidence rifle had a bad scope.
You can't just take a new rifle, put a scope mount on it, put some rings on it, and then put a scope on it and expect to hit anything.
And 1968 medical examiner Jerry Francisco testified last week that a good weapon would have been needed to fire this fatal shot.
It's a relatively short path. The entry point was clearly visualized.
The Kings are seeking unspecified damages in this wrongful death civil suit. But family members say this case isn't about money, but finding answers to the lingering questions surrounding Dr. King's murder. Frederica Whitfield, NBC News, Atlanta.
When we continue, a behind-the-scenes look as the Space Shuttle Columbia gets a makeover.
It's time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
For every job, there's a hard way, or there's the Dremel way. The Dremel rotary tool with flex shaft. Compact and flexible, it's the perfect tool in a tight spot. For every problem, there's a Dremel solution.
I got a man that's more than 8 foot tall.
4-foot shoulders, and that ain't all. King-size papa. He's a real super daddy, and he knows just what to do.
The big homemade taste of Grand's biscuits. When they come hungry, Grand's makes them happy.
Monday, a woman dies after an overdose of the medicine that was supposed to save her. Medical mistakes. Don't think they can't happen to you. Lifeline, NBC Nightly News, Monday.
Colin Cowherd, weeknights on News Channel 8.
What is your name?
My name is Trish.
Trish, were you good this year?
Of course.
I don't know if you were. I don't have you on the list. Barry, I don't have you down. Stan, maybe that's the problem. Looking for Steve.
There you go.
No, I'm Lloyd. I'll tell you what, did you shop here at Lloyd Center all year? No. That could be the problem.
First time I've been in here.
Kathy, you did, didn't you?
I sure did.
I'm Lloyd. Oh. I own them all. You shop here, you get on the good list. Put us at the top of your list. Lloyd Center, the biggest mall in Oregon.
It's a real beauty. Cruises at better than 17,000 miles per hour. Seats 8 comfortably. Can be configured to carry 10. Its cargo bay can handle a 55,000-pound load. Still, even something as amazing as a space shuttle needs an overhaul now and then. Here's NBC's Dan Lothian.
All right, lift off and the clock has started.
The Space Shuttle Columbia, queen of the fleet, first to fly into space, first to have a female commander. Now, after more than 18 years, 26 missions, and 112 million miles, back to the Boeing Company hangar where it was built, Palmdale, California, 40 miles north of Los Angeles.
Well, this is the underside of the orbiter.
Alan Hoffman, director of this earthly mission, inspecting and upgrading a classic shuttle.
We completely disassemble the vehicle, look for potential problems associated with the rigors of space travel and the harsh environment of space. Aging-related issues, corrosion, stress, cracking, that kind of stuff.
The procedure's so extensive, it takes 1 year. The entire shuttle, from nose to tail, X-rayed. Every one of the 24,000 heat-resistant tiles, which keep the shuttle from burning up on re-entry, examined. And what is it that you will be testing for when you look at these tiles?
Well, basically, we look at the tile to make sure that there is no damage to them. We don't have any dings, cracks, or anything else.
And Columbia's makeover also includes a weight reduction program for the 24,000-ton spacecraft. For example, replacing old thermal tape in the wheel well with this new lighter material.
By changing the tape, we're saving 37 pounds of weight.
Lightweight flipper doors on the wings, all 15 of them, reduced by 30 pounds each. Why is this important?
With the cost of carrying weight in space, anything we can do to lighten the orbiter up and enhance its performance is a plus for the program.
Every ounce subtracted means more capacity for crew equipment and payload. This is Columbia's 4th overhaul since going into service. And on this day, rare access for this reporter. Access with caution. Everything essential, like glasses, tied down. Everything else, rings, pager, wallet, removed before suiting up and crawling inside, all to minimize contamination.
Welcome to Columbia.
This is the crew module, mid-deck level. It's surprisingly small, about the size of a walk-in closet. A maze of wires, missing panels. Columbia's wires, 230 miles in length, being inspected inch by inch.
It's a lot like going from here to San Francisco on your knees, looking through a magnifying glass at a piece of wire.
1,000 pounds of twists and turns will be removed.
It usually takes you a week to move a group of wires.
Even more extensive renovations in the upper deck. This is the flight deck. As you can see, all of it has been gutted. Usually the pilot would sit on this side, the flight commander right over there. Everything has been stripped out so that new technology can be installed. That new technology, a so-called glass cockpit like this one. Touchscreen panels replacing old video screens and mechanical gauges at a price tag of over $9 million. Add to that an improved navigation system. In all, 80 major modifications inside. The goal of this $70 million facelift?
Columbia, the queen of the fleets, has got to be brought into the 21st century, to the new millennium, to make it even safer and easier to fly. That way we can address the future on a solid vehicle.
A future which includes missions to build the International Space Station. as NASA moves into the future using both old and new. Dan Lothian, NBC News, Palmdale, California.
When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, another restoration job. The quake-damaged Basilica at Assisi is open again.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods, perhaps as vital to your eyes as the beta-carotene in carrots. And now, Centrum and Centrum Silver are the only leading multivitamins that have lutein. So whatever your age, you can help maintain your precious sight. Look into Centrum and Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein. Also look for Centrum Herbals, the only herbals backed by Centrum Science.
Ziploc containers. Test number 12. Both of these containers can go into the microwave. One of them doesn't always make it. Ziploc, all you ever wanted in a container. Ziploc containers. Test number 8. If you can't remember how long they've been in the fridge, just remember, one is affordable enough to throw away. Ziploc, all you ever wanted in a container.
Every year, LensCrafters runs Gift of Sight missions to bring sight to needy people around the world.
We change lives with these glasses.
And the more we collect, the more people we can help.
Please bring us your used glasses today.
Yoo-hoo! Ready to go shopping?
Ready for a better way to get my fiber.
You'll have to concentrate.
Huh?
Concentrate on these new Philips fiber caps.
New Philips fiber caps don't contain sweeteners like most powders. You can't get a more concentrated fiber, so they're just as effective as Metamucil.
And there's no sweeteners.
How do you know all that?
I use my concentration.
New Philips fiber caps, effective fiber therapy without the powder.
An all-new Dateline Sunday, a deadly tornado, and a baby is swept away. But somehow, a miracle. Baby Aaliyah, a Dateline survivor story tonight.
It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
This week in Parade, plug in with Parade's annual survey of the electronic and internet world and find out how technology will affect your health and lifestyle into the next millennium. Plus, James Brady's in step with Naval Academy midshipman Lindsey Hawkins. Also, Walter Scott's Personality Parade and columnist Marilyn Foss Savant. It's all in Parade, your favorite Sunday newspaper magazine.
Finally tonight, an Italian masterpiece ripped apart by a devastating earthquake in 1997, now back in all its glory. Here's NBC's Kiko Itasaka.
A special Mass this morning to celebrate the reopening of the Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. On display, the priceless 13th and 14th century frescoes, restored in just over 2 years. The massive earthquake almost destroyed it all. Amid the rubble, some 300,000 fragments of some of Europe's finest art, from the Renaissance masters Giotto and Cimabue. $39 million and years of painstaking work went into the restoration of the church, reinforcing the structure and identifying each fragment to recreate the works of art. A project known as the modern-day Miracle of Assisi. But the miracle is not shared by all. In the hills surrounding Assisi, more than 40,000 lost their homes. 10,000 are still homeless, living in temporary metal containers. I have no house. I have nothing, this man says. And no one has come to see us, not the mayor, not anyone.
Tonight, Fox News